Good morning, good day, good evening. Welcome to this DevOps webinar brought to you by EXIN. Today, together with me, we have Danny Higler from Wemanity and Greg Benatine, also from Wemanity. They are both Agile coaches and trainers, and they will discuss with you the DevOps, or how DevOps is indispensable for Agile work. We have a few questions already prepared. But if you'd like to ask a question, either raise your hand or use the chat function to pose your question. I will read it out and then we will answer the questions afterwards. The session will be recorded, so the session will be sent to you as a recorded link as well. Enjoy this webinar.
Thank you, Simona.
So the first question is, what trends have you seen in the last 1 to 2 years in the development and working in a DevOps way?
Well, to start with, I think DevOps it's really growing, and that's the trend you see is that from startup companies where DevOps is kind of their normal way of working, natural way of working, it's transforming into this more corporate way of working. A lot of corporate organizations are trying to fit in the DevOps way, what they want to do.
I suppose the one challenge there, though, is you're seeing that it's a buzzword, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's going, oh, DevOps, we should do that. And other people are doing it, so let's bring it into the companies. So there's a bit of a buzz around it, but I'm not really quite sure what that actually means.
That's what you see. A lot of people saying we want to do DevOps, but it requires quite a lot of change.
Yeah,
and that's they're not realizing that. So that's but still, furthermore, trends, tooling, all the tooling you need from for DevOps, how to automate stuff, how to make your deployment pipelines. They're all widely affordable, available, more affordable, easier to understand. If you look at the big cloud solutions, AWS or Azure, you can set up your whole continuous integration, continuous deployment suite within a few mouse clicks, actually, or to practice or have it working there. So it's becoming easier.
And that's, so I mean, with that, you're finding those still a lot of the big corporates are nervous of using the cloud providers, the easy solution. They want to go and build it all themselves. So they're still taking the hard route and not really taking the easy route that's laid out for them. But as it starts maturing in corporate, I think you'll see that trend changes a little bit.
That's true. So if it's, why don't you move to a cloud first strategy? Security and okay, so you think your security is better than Amazon security officers who are doing this as a daily job? No, not really. But that's kind of a fear there. Yeah, so that's also a trend we see.
Okay, thank you very much for that explanation. Can you clarify a bit further how Agile relates to DevOps?
Yeah, we can. That's an interesting question because a lot of companies say we want to do Agile. Not really knowing what does it mean to do Agile. DevOps is one way to, Agile is a mindset, Agile is a journey, and on the journey you have different destinations, being your team should be optimized, the value you create with your team should be delivered as fast as possible, and DevOps is just one way of working which will amplify maybe the benefits you create with working Agile in the mindset.
Yeah. And I mean that's it. Is if you are DevOps, you are being Agile, but you don't have to do DevOps to be Agile. There's a lot of methodologies and ways and steps along the way of the journey. If you're in a tech environment, it's one of the destinations you want to get to on your Agile journey.
And you have to get to actually, because if you can invest so much in your company in we have our teams and everybody's Scrum certified and we have the right mindset and we're working Agile, but in the end there's still a process. We do a 3-month delivery cycle, which makes sense in some cases, but in most cases I want to go to production as soon as possible with the mindset of having feedback as fast as possible. And so I'm building up this big pile of value, which is losing value as it sits there, and then in the end having my release stress. I think it's the #1 sickness for within the IT environment, and that's what I want to cut off. So DevOps is really the way on top of Agile in order to use the value as soon as possible.
Yeah, and it's common sense.
It is.
Agile is common sense. It's just a lot of the things that have been done in the past ways of working, not doing those that don't make sense. And DevOps is the same.
Yeah.
It's breaking the walls, breaking the barriers, making sure that teams you make teams work together in the quickest and easiest way possible.
Yeah, I explained it to a client once. He asked me, I want to go full agile, and I want my teams to be using Scrum, deliver fast, fill fast. I said, I can build your teams. We can build your teams like a Formula One car. They can have speed, they can be agile, they can react to change in the market. But a Formula One car on a dirt road track still can't make the speed it's potentially capable of reaching. So instead of just having your teams fast, you need the environment, your management layers, your production, your IT environment. Everything needs to be changed. It's not just about teams, it's about working on the whole picture. Not just building Formula One cars, but also building fast tracks they can race on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
What is the added value of DevOps for a fast time to market?
Biggest is quality. Yeah. So with DevOps, you've got this full link from you building it, you taking it into production, you're looking after it, you're bringing it back. That whole link, one team owns all of that, which means they're accountable for everything that they do. Your quality just goes up. If you're using your CI/CD pipelines and your automation, you're just reducing waste.
Yeah.
And your speed and your ability to be able to get things done, it increases. You don't have to go to CAB meetings and have a conversation with someone that has no clue of what the application does, and say, please let me, in 3 days' time, take this change into production. You just click a button and it works.
Yeah, it's there. I remember a case where I worked for a retail e-commerce company, spending lots of time in our DevOps environment. We were having our streets there, having all the automated tests and processes, and people complained. Costing lots of time, lots of money. Where's the benefit? Why do you use that? And then on the moment, we had one of our KPIs was, how long does it take from an incident to have a fix on production? In the old situation, there was an incident, went to the help desk, support, went to a manager, went to one of the teams, did a research, find out it belongs to another team, did it to another team. So before discover and people actually know what the root cause was, could be 2 or 3 days. And then they had to build a fix, test the fix manually or not, deploy it. 2 days later, the fix was live. So it was about 4 days. And we as a team, we built a new e-commerce stack. We invested lots of time and money in this DevOps environment. Call came in. There was something wrong in the checkout. We didn't see it. Testing didn't discover it, unfortunately, but it happened. One thing, the manager of the call center immediately knew, hey, that team that's responsible for the whole checkout process. Go to them. It was 9 in the morning. He came to us, said, we have an issue in the checkout process. The team sat down, checked it, reproduced it. It's there. What now? Okay, create a fix. Easy fix, a few minutes of writing code, testing it. So half an hour later, we had a fix ready to go to production. Push one button, took us 10 minutes, and we had a fix in production. So the whole process of discovering a mistake on production and having a fix there took us less than an hour. And we had the system in such a place and all the automated tests were there. So we really trusted the system. If we commit our code, if we check it in, the process starts running and we're absolutely sure we don't miss anything. And that's why we thought something can always happen. But it was from 4 days to 1 hour. And that's really the benefit of fast deployment, faster time to market.
And that's the thing is, things will break.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to be fanatical about quality and make sure you're doing everything you can to design your system and test your system and get it out there that you're not going to break it. But you can never be certain. The key is your ability to recover from that. So if you've got the monitoring in place and you've got the whole ecosystem in place and one team is supporting and developing all together, you want to be able to identify, resolve, and deploy into production before anyone notices. And those are some of the best the best examples of DevOps, where something breaks in production before any customer realizes it's been fixed.
Yeah, without having downtime during office hours. It's always a nice question you can ask for clients who want to do DevOps. Are you capable of doing a release during office hours? No, we don't do that. We always do it during the night because then it's less impactful. If you're proper environment, without any errors, you should be able to deploy during office hours as easy as should be normal.
Yeah,
and that's where you want to go to, and then it takes minutes instead of weeks or days, and then on the right track, and then quality will come in, fast feedback will come in, and it will give you the benefits.
But to get that environment, it's a couple of things. One's the tooling, which we speak about. The other is the culture, and the company's culture of we trust the team to deploy, during the day. Trust the team that they know what they're doing, and also let them fail. They will make mistakes. They will get some things wrong. Make sure the environment's there that they can recover from those mistakes as quickly as possible. So that's almost what you've got to focus on, is getting all the environment right, but also the leadership, the management, the culture of your organization needs to be able to adopt a DevOps mindset.
Yeah, so it's not just only teams, it's about leadership, it's about culture, like you said, and that's something you see a lot happening. We want to do DevOps, focus on the teams.
Yeah.
We should focus on the teams, but we should also focus on the rest of the organization, because it will have impact. You will lose your release cycles, which last for a few weeks, and leadership needs to realize that, and they need to focus on facilitating. How can I get my people to do the best job possible, and trust them really to release during office hours? And that's a fun thing to work on as a coach and a trainer, especially as a coach, on also coaching leadership in this new way of thinking and making them realize, okay, I have to let go, and it will add value. The quality will go up by doing things faster, and that's sometimes contradictory to each other.
Yeah,
it's hard to realize.
Yeah, I can imagine, and especially culture can be hard to change, I can imagine.
Yeah, some culture which was there for 15, 20 years maybe, you cannot change it in a few weeks. So it needs, sometimes it always needs time. It needs a lot of coaching. It needs lots of mirrors, just keeping in front of people. What are you doing? And sometimes it needs different people, and you should be realistic about it. That if you're a manager working for 30 years in the same company, your mindset really has to change. But are you capable of making the change, or should we as a company really look for people who it's their natural way of working? It's like with working Agile. I did a lot of Agile work before I even knew it was called Agile. And I got blamed for some things, because you're always just in time with your requirements.
Just a cowboy.
Yeah. Just in time with your delivery, but it's there, right? And I'm adding value. And I made this decision just in time because I knew things might change. And then it was 2005, something I realized it's called Agile and Scrum. But that's the same with DevOps. Some people really need to realize that it requires a different mindset and a different way of thinking.
But that's where the challenge is, and was the changing the culture, changing people. How do you shift that? And that's one of the sticky points that organizations always get wrong. Is, they'll say, "Oh, we should do this Agile thing, Danny. It's for those teams down there. The development team, and they should do. I heard DevOps.
Oh, cool. Let's do that.
DevOps will give us a better return on our investment, so we should get the teams to do it. But they don't realize that from a management and a leadership, actually, they're the biggest impediment to that. The development teams and technical teams I've never come across anyone that goes, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. Can we go back to waterfall?" And they really want to actually embrace it, but it's the sticky point comes when you've got this middle management, senior management. They've got to operate differently. They need to enable the teams differently,
and you need to be
exciting,
honest about it. I mean, example, a couple of companies ago, somebody asked us, "Can you give us some information about what doesn't go well in this company? What are the biggest impediments on the HR way of working?" And created the slides which painfully pointed out, these are your impediments. This is where it hurts. And what happened? The manager who should present that to the CEO changed the slide, made it look like it's all okay. It's maybe not perfect, but it's still okay. But sometimes you really have to show the pain to make people realize we really need to change. There's a Dutch phrase for it, but I can't remember the English translation. So, no.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Really clear. When organizations choose to start working in the DevOps way, what is the most common mistakes, or what are the most common mistakes?
I think what Greg said, focus on teams, and the team should do it, and leadership and the environment doesn't have to change. I think that's the most commonly made mistake. It's an organizational thing.
And you've got to start with defining it.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing, is because it's a buzzword and everyone's going, oh, DevOps, let's do it. And I've heard varying things of just an ops team saying, yeah, we're doing DevOps, but you do development. No. Okay, well, this is interesting. What's DevOps in your definition? So you almost need to start with everyone having the same picture, a single definition.
And there are a lot of mistakes on that as well, or common, not shared understanding of DevOps. It's dev and operations together. No, it's all about automatic testing. No, it's about releasing as soon as possible. But DevOps, it's really about having end-to-end responsibility for a feature or a part of your product within one team. And that's build it, run it, fix it, maintain it. And if something breaks at Sunday morning, 4 o'clock, you're the one they will call. You're the one who should pick up the phone and say, oh, I dive into it. And if that happens twice to the team, you will think about how can we prevent that? So do we need better monitoring? Do we need better, do we need to fault or error handling on in our process or something? So if you make it the ownership of the team and the responsibility of the team to have end-to-end responsibility, they will own it and they will proactively act to it.
Yeah, and you've also got to approach DevOps in an agile way. So don't try to do everything. We see that a lot where everyone goes, okay, we're going DevOps. We need to have worked out all the problems. Everything needs to be automated. No, just you've got to do the first things first. Yeah. So there are some basics that you have to have in place. Get those in place and start. Also start learning. So try something, start learning. As you say, oh, this broke. Oh, we should get some monitoring for that. Okay, that didn't quite work so well. Don't get into heavy debates around tooling. Should we go this tooling? Should we go that tooling?
Yeah.
Pick one, or let the team pick one even better, and each team pick their own, and do it. Just go, start.
See what works. Yeah. There were companies where, oh, we should do DevOps. Okay, let's start a work group which will select the tooling which is best suited for our case. Oh man, and it took them weeks or even months to discover, okay, we're going to use Jenkins. Great.
Yeah.
Good solution. How did you find out? We found a best case scenario, but it took us a few weeks to discover. So the teams, the developers who are already there, they're interested. They will read about it. They will learn about it, and hopefully they will visit seminars and join meetups and experiment with it, with the tooling, and they will come up with a solution. And you might find it suitable for your organization or not, but you will realize it during the way, and you can always make a switch to another tooling. But it's again with the Agile Manifesto, it's people and interaction above process and tools. If you have the correct mindset and the way we want to do things differently, then the tools are coming on a second row.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, it depends what your role is. But if you're a manager, the best thing you can do is get out the way and help the team remove impediments. So where they're having issues, help them remove those. If you're in the team, just do it. Start, pick something, get going.
Show them, get people interested, sponsor them. Show them, look, we built this feature. And one of the things you can ask as a team or a coach, a trainer is, how long would it take us to have a small fix on our code base, have it into production? If the answer is more than a day, then okay, some serious things going on there. And let the team figure it out. How can we make that faster? And with all the tests and keeping the quality up, how can we do that to a few minutes or hours? And the teams, the developers will have ideas about it, and they will know what to do. And if not, then it's time to look for different engineers. Yeah, but that's true. You laugh about it. But if I have this mindset of people who sitting, I'm doing my development job for the last 10 years. I've learned nothing new. I'm just doing what's requested. That's not the mindset you're looking for in this digital environment. You're looking for, you need pioneers. You need people who really are ahead of the rest of the troops. You need decent people who are doing the work and are willing to learn and adapt on the way. What I don't want is people being stuck in their old way of working, in their habits, because it feels good. And I can try to get them out of there, but if they stay in that mindset, then
it's attitude. A lot of it's about the attitude, and you'll find sometimes people give excuses. So you'll often hear, "Oh, I can't do DevOps. It's a COBOL environment." Well, yeah, I've seen DevOps working in a COBOL environment. Not perfectly, not fully automated, but you can take something that's legacy, that's been there for 20 years, and get the team working more efficiently, owning everything together. Obviously, it's not going to work as seamlessly as if you're using a completely new stack and building from fresh, and everything in the cloud. Yeah. But you can still use a lot of the principles.
Yeah, but you're responsible, and that's it. Nice.
Okay, clear. Then the next question. In the meantime, there are a lot of questions coming in, but we'll just go through these ones, and then we will follow them up. How can DevOps help organizations in their path towards the digital transformation?
That's a good question. I think if you want to go to digital transformation, and you had a good phrase for it, the relevant digital company.
So digital transformation is interesting, right? Because you say, am I digital? I've just taken a form and now it's digital. Or are you relevant? And ideally, you want companies to be relevant from a digital point of view. And then you've got to think about, well, what does a relevant digital company mean? Well, people are impatient. Yeah. So we all know today you can't hit a screen and wait 10 seconds. We're just not going to wait for that. We're not going to wait for 3 months for a new feature to be released on an app. We want it now. Everything must happen now. And that's the society that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You're also dealing with an age where companies come and go so quickly. People are being disrupted. Major organizations like banks, telcos, they might not exist in 5 years' time. Something might disrupt them completely. Then what? So to be digitally relevant means you're able to adapt. You're able to respond really, really quickly. And if you want to respond quickly and you want to be able to adapt to changes in the market, you have to have DevOps. You have to have a form of, or at least a form of agility. But I mean, if you're doing something from an IT point of view, you want to have DevOps there that you can rapidly respond to anything that's happening digitally. You actually had a good one around where you ask customers how quickly they can respond.
Yeah, well, that's maybe a good one for the viewers as well. In your next management meeting, ask a question. What if our biggest competitor comes with a totally disruptive new product tomorrow? How soon are we able to respond? To have something in the market which reacts to that? Will it be days? That's fast. Will it be weeks? Acceptable. Will it be months or years? That's, well, making yourself unrelevant and might be the end of your company. So that's how fast can you respond, and how fast, what's a blocking issue? IT cannot be the blocking issue there. So that's, but it's a nice question to discuss within your management meeting, within your team. How fast can we respond?
Yeah,
and that's how far are we able to deploy new ideas, create them.
Yeah, absolutely. Then thank you. What is the future of DevOps?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, we're seeing the tooling is getting easier, right? So I think you're going to find much easier tooling. It's just going to become integrated. You'll get full stacks where you don't have to link too many things together. So you're really going to find that. I think corporates are going to start getting what they need to do. So, we touched on culture, organizational structures will need to change, management will need to change what they do, their role.
And companies are realizing that they need to rearrange their structure on team level, where we have still have competent teams, go more towards the feature teams being able to build a complete feature. Like Craig and I, we to call it link and sync. In order to have a team, I would really like to have people linked together and give them a certain responsibility. If I don't have the people linked, we need to have them synced, at least with other people. But syncing takes time. Syncing is actually waste. So reduce the syncing, amplify on the linking, and it will make full feature teams. Try to build them. So I think that's one of the things we see happening in the DevOps environment. Companies are realizing we need to rearrange our structure and our way of thinking. We had a meeting last time with a couple of teams working on the same feature, but it was front-end team, middleware team, back-end team, and saying, well, these are the competent teams, this is how we do. And we asked them, well, find from the other teams, find the persons you work with, you communicate, you sync with most. And they found each other, and naturally they created new teams. So where we have horizontal, the front end, the middleware, and the back end teams, find the people in the teams you communicate most, where you're syncing, create them and put them together as a new team, because they already work together a lot. They already are doing a lot of syncing, so why not link them and benefit from that? And we tried that, and turned out there's some issues because backend people have to do front end stuff, communicate, expect, but they will learn and they will do it if they're good engineers. It works. So that's I like that.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, to answer the question of what's the future of DevOps, organizations that don't do it within the IT departments, I think they're going to really struggle to respond. So you might find they start falling behind, or closing down.
Yeah, you have to find one way of responding as soon as possible and adapting to a changing environment. So and DevOps is on IT teams at least the way to go. Yeah.
Okay, clear. Thanks. And is DevOps only for software development?
Yes.
Well,
yes, but
by definition,
yes,
because it's development and operations. But as Danny was saying, I mean, one of the things which we use is linking and syncing. Now, that's a concept within, I suppose, that DevOps uses, is you take a development team and you take an operations team and you link them together, or you take a feature team down and you can link these people, and that's how you create things together. So you can use concepts of DevOps, of how do I look at a full chain of what I do, a full life cycle, and instead of looking at people as roles, rather looking and saying, okay, let's take all of these functions, put it together. This is one team, and you own a value chain.
Yeah.
So link things, put as much as possible into one team. Link. You have everything in one team, and where you can't, okay, you maybe have a second team, and then you sync between those teams. That concept, which is a lot of the stuff that you see in DevOps, you can use that in anything.
Yeah.
Marketing,
yeah, sure.
Procurement,
building, construction. I saw it happening there. And that's one part of the DevOps, and the second part of DevOps being automate a lot, having monitors in place. You can apply that as well outside of IT. You can apply that on marketing. You can apply that on building as well. Everything which, especially with the Internet of Things growing, your possibilities of monitoring and automating stuff will grow increasingly. So that's
it's almost like where you can be lazy and automate it.
Yeah. I think a good software engineer is very lazy.
Yeah. So if you can be lazy and automate something, do that.
I like that. I like that attitude. Yeah. So I'd rather be lazy than work hard. Still having a good outcome, right?
Yeah.
And what about Agile? Is that also only for, or is that only for software development?
No. Actually, the same principle applies what we talked about DevOps. Agile is a mindset. Agile is a way of thinking, and you can apply that everywhere. I think everywhere.
So I just recently moved to the Netherlands with my family, and we used Agile. Yeah. So every day, my wife and myself had a daily. What are you going to do? What am I going to do? Once a week. Okay, this is what we're trying to achieve. I think it's the key is the old ways of working, it was, let's take a crystal ball and think in 2 years' time what's going to happen and make a decision right now. Whereas Agile is, don't make a decision until you absolutely have to. Keep your options open and get as much information. So it's just common sense. You don't. It's not development. It's, you can do it in marketing. You can do it in your life, your weekend to-do list.
Yeah. One of our colleagues, he planned his whole holiday on an Agile way. Had a scrum board on the wall. Wife being assigned as a product owner. Kids as stakeholders, and let's discuss what are we going to do. So the mindset over make decisions as late as possible in order to have as much information as you possibly can have. Do that and have the ability to change your plan, collect feedback as soon as possible. And I like the holiday concept. You can plan your 3 weeks holiday full, but it starts raining.
So did his kids have to write user stories like, as a child,
I would like to visit the theme park.
Theme parks.
Yeah, we should ask them. I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. They can write, so yeah, we should ask them tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. How can you develop your DevOps skills? Hey, you being a coach, or you're kind of training people on a daily basis, but in all sorts of companies.
Just do it.
Okay.
Just start.
Read,
but start working on it. Test it. Install stuff, play with the tools around, try to create your own. How can I get this one word HTML page through a series of steps and get it somewhere on a production environment? And can I build a pipeline? The tools are there. Mostly they're free or they have trial versions, so you can. There's no limitation on that.
Join communities.
Meetups. They're in every big city. There are meetups you can join. And the good thing about the DevOps community is everybody likes to share and to teach and to help you on your way. So that's a good thing. Whatever you do, don't wait for a manager to send you to a DevOps course. Just be proactive and then step up.
And if you are a manager, go to a course.
True.
Absolutely. That's a good advice.
Do the DevOps. I know EXIN, you have some DevOps certification. So if you think, I'm ready for it, read that. Try if you can get a certification. Won't help the team at the moment, but we will help yourself grow and see what you're good in and not. But just try, build, find out what works for you. A lot of use cases in the market on the internet. You can find lots of things there.
And be open to feedback. Try something. If you fail, it's okay. Take the feedback. Don't take it personally. Learn from it. You'll get it wrong.
Build, share, ask. Just do it. I think that's
all right.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So we've got some questions coming in here. Cool. What are the barriers to becoming a DevOps organization? Question by Elizabeth.
Okay. Good question, Elizabeth. I think that the barriers, it's maybe we talk a little about it, but it's about mindset. If you think within the team, we need to go DevOps, and you can go there to a certain extent, but to really become a DevOps organization, your whole organization needs to be included. And that's also about finding sponsors up ahead in the organization, having a new view on management, portfolio management, how do we deal with that? So that's what Agile mindset comes in as well.
Yeah, it depends.
Find sponsors in your company.
Each company is going to have their own challenges. Some might be management, some might be the leadership, some might be, you just need to go and do it. Others might be that you've got architecture. You've really got to find what do you need to make DevOps work for you. So how can you get the developers and the ops team in one team working together, making decisions on tooling, and then, as Danny says, who are the sponsors that you need in your organization that can say, right, let's put these two teams together. Let's allow them to make these decisions.
I just realized you're saying architects, but silos can be a big blockade in your organization. Little isolated islands of knowledge and mandate, which you need to break down because you want people to be in one team instead of having several teams and lots of sign-off sessions, for example. So, but it helps to find sponsors within the organization. Find people that have the same mindset. Try to find them up and down through the whole organization. and come together, share the benefits you want to achieve, and start small. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Success, Elizabeth.
Yeah, good luck.
Then we've got a question from Randy. Can you define the relationship between ITIL and DevOps? Are they compatible or in conflict?
So yeah, I mean, ITIL's got some really good fundamentals in it. You know, around incident management, your change management, how do you resolve problems, etc. What DevOps does is you've still got to do those things. You've still got to look after your incidents. You've still got to control your change. You just want to automate it as much as possible. So ITIL's a good thing. I'd say take that and then just start applying common sense. Do you have people that are making decisions like a CAB meeting where they aren't informed and they're the wrong people making the wrong decisions? Can you automate it? Can you improve it? Can you speed it up? So start with what you've got. Use that framework. Don't say, we don't do incident management now. Yeah, you do, but the team does it. So try put everything, that whole linking and syncing, try link it into the team as much as possible. See how would the team self-govern, self-own. How can they automate it? If you can automate a process, as long as the process is good, if you can automate it, actually you should get a better response.
It's something what I like to call continuous compliancy. How can I be continuously compliant within the organization? And if I can automate that part, then I'm absolutely there. And then still the way of thinking in ETIL, the processes there. Good, you can do ETIL within an Agile environment, I'm pretty sure, and start working. But you can also do ETIL completely in the wrong way and make it long and dreadful and full of useless people.
Yeah, and just remember, it's a role. So a change manager doesn't have to be a single person. It can be a function within the team.
Yeah.
Once you wrap your head around that, you can actually
a lot of the roles from ETIL you can put in the teams. Find your way to be continuous compliant, same as you do with continuous deployments, etc. Automate that. Yeah. Thanks, Randy.
Okay. So then there is a question. It's kind of also a compliment. Rishi is really happy that we brought up the culture part. And we touched pieces of it already, or maybe a lot of it already, but explain how you change culture, what steps you will take to make it happen.
Yeah, so, well, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's
that's our job.
And the tooling is the easy part. You can install it, learn from it, work from it. Changing culture is time consuming, and it requires the right people, the right mindset, and the willingness to change. So people need to see, why do I need to change? What are the benefits of changing my mindset, change my culture in the company? So, and it has to come from all directions in the company. Culture change comes from the top of the company. We need the CEO standing in front of their people saying, as a company, we want to be ready for the future. We want to be able to respond to change quickly. Therefore, we need to change. Not you, not the team, but also me. So investing in good coaching on all levels in the organization, and that's on team level, that's on leadership level, that's on C level, will help you there. But it's hard. So step by step.
I mean, from Wemanity, we use the integrated agile transformation model. That's based on years of looking at psychology and looking at how do you change people, how do you get agile embedded into the organization. And I mean, that's what Ari really spent a lot of time thinking about. So how do you really change cultures and organizations? Because it's people, there's a whole psychology behind it, and that's kind of the approach that you need to go on of doing a transformation, doing the coaching, and slowly transforming the people and having something sustainable that you can continuously just keep reminding. What is agile? How do you work?
Be open, have a good strategy, be fully transparent about it, and include the whole company in your way. Any journey, easier said than done. Realize that.
All right.
Thank you. Nice question. I like that one.
And then we have a question from Marcello, and you mentioned banks. And he says, I work with security IT in a bank, and we have many projects ongoing, and most of the time our area don't participate in the projects. I think fundamentally we participate in the beginning or the start of the project. What's your opinion about that?
You should be, as security, be involved in the whole project.
Shouldn't be a silo.
No, no.
So there's two ways you can structure that. One is you want all functions in the team. So you either put security in the team and they stay in the team, or depending on the size and generally a bank, you're not going to have that many. You'll have security people, but you won't have enough for each team. So you can create a parachuter team, where you're now a parachuting team of security people. As and when you need it, you parachute down into the team, part of the team for a sprint or 2 sprints, and you come out. It's also a change of mindset of security shouldn't be trying to catch people at the end and go, I got you. You can't go live. There's a bug here. You want to help them. You want to get involved in the beginning and all the way along of, have you thought about this? Are you designing it right? Where's the build coming along? So get involved in demos. Make sure you're part of that. You can, as you say, either parachute into the team or be a stakeholder that is involved in heartbeats, is involved in demos.
That's what we do within IATM. We tell each team, organize your heartbeats, and your heartbeats are the moments where you invite all your stakeholders and take them through your backlog, show them what you're doing, and asking their feedback as well. It can be security, legal, HR, all the things which are usually kept out or included in the last moment. Keep them close to you and make the step. It's like we explain in trainings is, instead of all this handover moments, combine everybody, turn out 90 degrees, and then make the steps together. So security should be in from end to end.
Yeah.
Clear.
Cool. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Nice.
A question from Pedro. How to make the business understand that they are key players in the testing part and they need to do something?
How to make the business understand they're key players in the testing part and they need to do something. That's a good one. I think that the business is especially a key player in the testing part at the start of the definition of your requirements. And I hate the word requirements. It's about the understanding of the product we're going to build. And that's where they come. That's where they need to define already and think about how are we going to test things. Not afterwards, like I told somebody to build me this product, and after 5 sprints realizing end-to-end test you had, this is not what I wanted, this is not good. So also include them throughout the whole process. Same like security. Include your stakeholders there, your business, in your heartbeat moments, in your demos. Invite them for your sprint refinements as well. And your heartbeat sessions.
Yeah, they've got to be there all the way along. And I suppose, how do you convince them that that's important to them? Well, it's a simple question. Are they happy to release something into production that is not good quality or not what they want? So maybe find out what their favorite ice cream is, and go give them a different flavor. So if they like chocolate, go give them vanilla, and see if it upsets them, and then say, well,
it's like
get it right.
Somebody I knew, they were building a house. At least a construction company was building a house. Every day you went to the building site, looking at it. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. The stairs, I meant it differently. Can we still change it? No, we can't because we have this there, but we can change other things. So as a business, you want to be involved because the product they're building is for you. If you don't want to be involved, well, do you care about the product then? I think, and asking the questions. Do you care about the product and do you want to be involved? Yes, I want to be involved. Please join us as a team and join our meetings, join our sessions, and give us as much feedback as you possibly can, and think together with us about how are we going to test it and what are the when is it done? Ask that question. How would you use it? And that's actually the input for your testing scenarios and your automated tests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully answered it.
Then a question from Rishi. What are your thoughts on DevOps implementation when the customer doesn't have a good CI/CD tools in place?
Well, like we said, tools are not the most, you need them, but they're not the most important thing. So start with the mindset of having teams responsible from end to end. And in order to do that, if you have end-to-end responsibility, you need to create changes and you want to deploy them swiftly. So start experimenting with the tools. But it starts with the mindset and having teams with an end-to-end responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's the example we had with a team that was looking after a COBOL environment.
Yeah.
You can't, well, not that I'm aware, you can't get Jenkins working there nicely. So you don't have your full CI/CD pipeline. You've still got a lot of manual things. You've got to do some configuration in production. But the team can work together. So you can have one single team that looks after production, supports it. You go through the steps. You just don't automate all of the pieces. So if it depends on the landscape, I would always recommend, though, if you can get tooling in place, there's so much tooling that's available, really easy on the cloud. It just makes your life easier if you can use it, but it doesn't stop you from being DevOps.
Shouldn't be. No, and then there's monitoring as well, starting monitoring.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to get started without tooling in place, but eventually you have to have some tooling in place and you will discover it along your way in getting there. It's not like flipping the switch and hey, we're DevOps. It's a process. It's a journey as well.
That's why I said, just start.
Start, learn, adjust, experiment a lot, fail a lot. The more you fail, the more you learn.
All right, thanks. Then kind of a professional, personal question. I'm a Linux admin. How can I move into a DevOps role? What are the skills I should learn? Kind of adding into the previous question.
Yeah, so I think a natural fit would probably be to start looking at things like containerization on that level, because within a DevOps team you need multi-skill, you need going full stack. So if you're Linux, you probably want to start working your way up the stack, understand a little bit around Docker, around OpenShift, around cloud deployments.
Yeah, the orchestration tools. So really focus on this. From there, go to the more environment building tools,
Jenkins, etc. Chef,
lots of things to go there. Especially in the Linux environment, there's lots of things to do. You don't necessarily have to make the move up to being a Java developer, or there are lots of steps in between there. Yeah, but join a team. Probably if you're a Linux admin, you're working for one or multiple teams. They're requesting things from you. Join a team.
Yeah. I mean, we've done quite a few things where you look at creating platform as a service, and how do you tie in? So you create a platform as a service team.
Yeah.
That team has to have, and that's a DevOps team that has to have Linux in it. It has to have some databases in it, and virtualization. You want to start engaging and pulling in some of the application people. You want to even pull in procurement.
Yeah.
You've got a procurement person in there that's helping you. So you can create a DevOps value chain within your infrastructure place that's creating a platform as a service.
Yeah, but what we also like to do is I've got development teams, totally, fully aware of the whole end-to-end responsibility. But I also like to have a system team, just a team of skilled people who are just there to facilitate on a technical level the deployment teams. They're part of the development team, sorry. So they make sure there's a Docker swarm, they make sure there's monitoring in place. How you use it, it's up to the team. They make sure there's testing tools there. How do you make the tools, or how do you write the tools? It's up to the team, but they facilitate the team. And that's a place where I see a lot of application Linux admins go in there. So that might be a good start.
Okay, great.
Good luck.
How sprint meetings will help if the development team and operations teams working in different zones? How would DevOps be able to help?
Can you repeat it one more time?
How can sprint meetings help if the development team and operations team working in different zones? How can DevOps help?
I assume you mean time zones?
Yeah.
Okay, well, especially if you have development and operations teams, that's not DevOps. it's not ideal, but it works to have geographically separated teams. You might have get it to work. Especially if you're in the same time zone, that's easier. If you're in different time zones, you have to find a way to find your rhythm and where everybody's available. That's, I think, well, I've had some teams which were in India, for example, and we found a time slot where it would fit everybody. Have an open video connection, which will help the team, and having the sprint meetings or the dailies there, doing them by video communication. There are lots of tools there which you can use in order to facilitate communication within teams. It's not as easy as with local teams, but it's possible, and there are a lot of tools also for your retrospectives. We have Jira, any other tool, Trello, which will help you to give insights in your backlog and your sprint board. Also, same as with the others, experiment with it. Don't let yourself being stopped by all the impediments you will run into, but it works.
And I think a key question then, challenge would be, have you linked yourself correctly? So,
Yeah.
you know, if you're completely on the opposite end of the world and a time zone that's, 9 hours difference, is that a good link? Are you able to work? Or is there something where you actually break that link and link in a different way, your team's in a different way, and then you just need to find some way that those teams synchronize? So I'd look at the time zones, see how do you construct the teams, what works best.
Yeah, maybe find there's this girl, Lisette Sutherland. She wrote lots of blogs, podcasts about working in remote teams. She's really the leading specialist on that. So if you look her up on the web, Lisette Sutherland, she can definitely help you out there and have some cool ideas on how to work with remote teams.
Make your life easy.
Yeah.
So whatever seems the easiest and seems the most logical, that's probably right.
Do it. And if it doesn't work, adjust.
Yeah, learn. Yeah.
Fail. Yeah.
Thank you. The following question is, do you think dev security of ops is also as important as DevOps?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of what we were saying is, security should be in the team. As much as you can put in a team, the more you can put into a team, the better. So, I mean, you get a lot of biz DevOps, dev security ops, it's people just getting really a bit carried away. Yeah, you want to be working as close as possible with business, as close as possible with security. You want security in the team. You want architecture in the team. You want design in the team. The more you can put into the team, that's your value chain. So your whole chain that you're following through your life cycle must be one team. I think utopia would be you have nothing else. You just have everything in the team and no other silo. That's how startups work. One team that does everything. And they can self-organize.
And then they grow, and then they need more teams, and then the shit hits the fan. No, sometimes no. Most of the time no, because they had this mindset of we still need end-to-end teams, and we need to have multiple teams where all skills are available still in the team. So as a team, we can take the full responsibility. So I like it. People putting all the abbreviations into the dev, security, design, architecture, ops teams.
Write all the waterful words into one. Yes, you should do all of it.
Should be, should all be link as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay, Claire, great, very clear. What DevOps could do for problem management and vice versa?
For problem management. Yeah, so I mean that's
it easier.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point. Is you have an incident, the team has to fix it now because you're the team that's actually responsible for the code, for fixing everything. You don't enjoy getting woken up. Actually, one of the best things I did with a team was there was a lot of incidents and things weren't getting fixed, and they had lots of calls, and huge amount of money was spent on overtime. So we said, okay, no more payment on overtime until you fix the problem. So when the problem's been fixed and gone to production, then you can claim expense on overtime. Now that's just too painful to track. So what happened was people started fixing problems because no one likes getting called out at night. So if it's the team that's responsible for fixing the code, they will make sure the code is good and it's not going to break, so they don't get called out at night.
Yeah, that's so. But also it needs to change as well. So you need to set up things for that. You need to have tools which will make sure You can be called. It's a great tool for it. I forgot the name.
Be called a cell phone.
A cell phone or beeper service. What's
a mobile phone. You just call it.
Yeah. Not that tool. No, but then we did it, and we got questions also from people. But do I get paid if I need to be available in the middle of the night, 24-hour service? Do we get paid extra? Well, call in HR. Do we have some regulations for that? But it requires a different approach and a different mindset. But make the teams responsible for their own problems, and your problem management will be easier.
And if you get the culture right of the team owns it, it's like a startup. You own it. You should care about the quality, because otherwise you don't get paid. You want to get that same culture and that same feeling in the team that they take it seriously.
The tool is called pager duty. Duty. So that's good. But make it easy. Yeah, make your life easy, and the more problems are solved in the team, the easier it is, and the cheaper it is in the end as well.
Yeah. Okay, great. I think we still have time for one more question. There are a lot of questions still coming in, but we will make sure that they will be answered in an email afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
And that's you already given a lot of examples, but Flavio's answer is asking for, do you have some kind of examples that you could tell about right now of successful implementations?
Of DevOps?
Yeah.
I did one at bank that they were deploying twice a day. So every day, twice a day, whatever was there, automated and up and running. And some of the great things was, as we said, running payments, and things would break. And before customer even knew that, okay, well, the wrong payments happened or wrong amounts happened, it was actually already flagged in the system, stopped, and fixed within minutes, and the right amount going through. So I think that's one example where we've got things going.
I always like the e-commerce example, where within an hour having identified the issue and have it in production. I think another cool example where you won't expect DevOps, it's in an Microsoft AX environment, which is kind of steady, and you deploy it. The deployment rate is not that high, but also they're having the operations in the team, making the team responsible for everything they released. If there's issues coming out, you also have to solve it. It reduced actually the number of incidents occurring, because the team was responsible. They didn't have to do a handover. If somebody called helpdesk, hey, we have an issue here with this version, can you help us? They know exactly to which team to go, having a fix there. And they didn't have a complete CI/CD process where they could deploy in minutes, because every week a release was sent to the customers. But then in the next release, it was really fixed as well. So it doesn't have to be that fast, also in the Microsoft AX environment, but still the mindset was there, and the end-to-end responsibility for the team was still there as well. I like that as well.
We actually had a really nice one last week, where the way they had set up the monitoring, so this was a DevOps team, and the way they had set up the monitoring was on traffic and threshold on traffic. And the traffic dropped. And they said, well, this is strange. Call went out, and they said, this is strange. It seems like no one's using any of the systems. Well, I mean, it's possible, but what's going on? And what had actually happened was it was a planned firewall change and everything, but they had taken things down. But what was really nice was a team that's not even responsible for that noticed, and it flagged and woke someone up, and they said, well, this is strange, what's going on? Started phoning people. Okay, don't panic. We planned. So I mean, that's quite a nice way of having a team that's monitoring, checking. These are developers that are actually writing a whole lot of microservices. So,
I realized I'm still in the WhatsApp group of that team. And suddenly the WhatsApp group exploded. Just 5 people on Saturday, Sunday evening, don't remember, feeling responsible for something which is not even their, should not be their mistake, but they noticed it on their monitoring, and they wanted to fix it as soon as possible. What's happening? So it's, I like that. That's the mindset we're looking for.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
you guys.
People for watching, listening.
So you're getting a lot of thanks and very helpful, etc. So great. People are really happy with the content.
If you still have questions, look us up on LinkedIn or
reach out anytime, no problem.
Nice. Lifetime support on this webinar.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thanks
yeah.
you all for attending this webinar, and until you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.